Coming up, we join Tzu Chi's large-scale free clinic held by the Tzu Chi Philippines chapter and TIMA Singapore. We meet singer Xiao Jingteng, who is one of the winners of this year's 10 Outstanding Young Persons Award. Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Helen. Liao. Thank you for joining us. We kick off the show in the Philippines. The Tzu Chi Philippines chapter teamed up with TIMA Singapore to carry out a 3-day large-scale free clinic in Tacloban from October 22nd to 24th. After a successful first day, Day 2 and Day 3 also saw a large turnout at residents, where they learned that the Tzu Chi Foundation was offering medical services free of charge. Let's join them there.
Cupping is a form of traditional Chinese medicine therapy popular among the Chinese. However, for residents of Tacloban, this form of treatment is a completely new experience.
Cupping helps to stimulate blood flow and allows toxins to be drawn out of the body. Through suction, the skin is drawn upwards by creating a vacuum. Once the cup is released after 5 to 10 minutes, the patient will feel more relaxed.
Whether it is cupping or acupuncture, residents were very willing to give traditional Chinese medicine a try. Another department full to the brim with patients was ophthalmology, where many residents came to receive cataract surgery. Most people in the Philippines cannot afford cataract surgery as it costs around $580, the equivalent of 4 months' salary. For the past 5 years, 65-year-old Magano has been living in darkness due to his cataracts. Following his surgery, Magano just had one wish.
I want to see my fields again. He is undernourished. He's 65 and I'm about the same age as him, but he looks older and paler. This is because he isn't eating properly and also because he drinks.
Meanwhile, at the Eastern Visayas Regional Medical Hospital, a group of TIMA doctors are performing thyroid removal procedures. There they came across Arakak, who put off her surgery for 4 years because
I knew there would be doctors here today. I've wanted to get operated many times before, but I was too afraid. I decided to come today because these doctors have come from overseas.
As these patients entrust TIMA doctors with their lives, the medical team has made it their duty to see to it that patients receive the best possible care.
This is the final day of Tzu Chi's large-scale free clinic in Tacloban, and we are expected to see a turnout of 1,360 patients. It's not even 7 in the morning, yet a large crowd has already gathered outside the venue.
I heard about a free clinic on the radio, so I came early to wait in the queue. I want to have my eyes checked.
Many of our doctors have been extremely touched by the experience. Seeing so many residents in need of medical attention, the doctors asked if they could extend the clinic till the evening and cancel our evening gathering.
Because of poverty, many residents have no choice but to endure their pain and suffering, which often leads to a worsening of minor problems. Jocelyn, who has had a thyroid growth for 15 years, has had to put up with all sorts of mockery by her neighbors. Even her children were made fun of at school.
Other kids have been making fun of my children at school, telling them that their mom has a huge lump on her neck. My youngest child even hit someone at school. When I asked him what had happened, he told me he hit someone because they were making fun of me.
Like Jocelyn, 30-year-old Josephine is troubled by the same problem. As her husband only makes 100 pesos a day, the family can barely get by, let alone pay for the cost of surgery.
We needed to do some checkups before the surgery, but we don't have the money for it. The checkups are very expensive, and we simply cannot afford them.
I will be more confident in front of others. I hope I can receive surgery as soon as possible. Once I have received surgery, I will be able to find a job and support my wife and child.
In order to provide comprehensive medical services to the residents of Tacloban, Tzu Chi has also teamed up with Eastern Visayas Regional Medical Hospital. 6 TIMA doctors and 5 anesthesiologists from the hospital work together to conduct tumor removal and hernia surgeries.
The patients we have seen over the past 2 days have been sick for quite some time. Although many residents showed up at the last minute, if we saw that their condition was severe, we still arranged for them to receive surgery.
Lying on the operating table, Patricio, who will be receiving surgery, has suffered from a hernia for 15 years. However, because he did not have the $650 required for surgery, he had to live with debilitating pain for years.
Sometimes I'm in complete agony and the pain is excruciating. I'm so grateful to Tzu Chi for this free surgery.
An area has also been demarcated as the operating room here at Liao Progressive High. TIMA Dr. Fong Po Him from Singapore is tending to a woman with an unknown growth on her forehead.
Sometimes the way I look at it is, if I don't do the procedure for these people, who is going to do it for them? Or are they going to end up not having it? Then is it going to become dangerous to them? Because if that's the case, then we should try.
Is she okay? Yeah.
With a duty to relieve patients of their pain and suffering, TIMA doctors put their heart into their work, hoping to ease the pain that has tormented these patients for months and years on end.
In China, 48 Tzu Chi volunteers of Kunshan, Jiangsu province recently traveled to Siyang County to deliver tuition aid to spring bus scholarship recipients. Besides visiting scholarship recipients, the volunteers also seized the opportunity to visit Xiafei Polytechnic School student Zhang Yue and Xue Ying. Upon learning of the students' situation, the volunteers promised to do what they can to give them the chance to continue their education. Walking alongside a beautiful pond in Siyang, Jiangsu province, Tzu Chi volunteers soon came upon a dilapidated home without a door. A building made up of corrugated iron sheets is where Xiafei Polytechnic School student Xue Ying and her family call home.
My daughter still owes the school some money.
The Xue family is surprised beyond words upon learning that the volunteers are willing to pay for Xue Ying's tuition.
We'll see what else we can do to help your family other than providing a scholarship for your daughter.
To give poor female students in northern Jiangsu a chance at an education or the opportunity to further their studies, in 2007, the Tzu Chi Foundation implemented the Spring Bud Scholarship Program. This year, the volunteers plan to assist 15-year-old Xue Ying and 16-year-old Zhang Yue.
Next month, we will visit your school. We will continue to support you. All you need to do is study hard and get into a good school in the future.
This is Zhang Yue, who has been living with her uncles and their families after her father passed away and her mother remarried. As her relatives are deaf-mute, the family finds it hard to make ends meet, let alone pay for Zhang's education. Due to her relative's condition, Zhang not only lives in a world without sound, but lacks someone to talk to. Tzu Chi volunteers offered Zhang a pair of hair clips. Zhang feels the warmth of family for the very first time.
You can figure out who can use this, okay? You'll be able to drink some hot water during the winter with this. These are towels. You can take one to school or give both to your uncles.
With the assistance of such kind-hearted people, both Xue and Zhang can finally wipe away the tears from their eyes as they look forward to a brighter future. Staying in China, as temperatures drop in the country, Tzu Chi volunteers are getting ready to launch this winter's annual relief distribution. In Fuzhou, Fujian, volunteers dropped by the homes of care recipients to remind them not to forget to show up for this year's event.
Before Tzu Chi begins its winter relief distributions in China, volunteers in Fuzhou first visit their care recipients to remind them of the dates to come.
That's why I said I visited here 3 years ago, and now I'm here again to check on you.
Ling Xianghao met Tzu Chi during a winter relief distribution 3 years ago. Originally suicidal because of his accident, it was the volunteers' love that turned him around.
Volunteers now visit me every week. They also bring me Tzu Chi's periodicals to read, so I'm not bored.
Through watching DaAi TV and reading Jingsi aphorisms every day, Ling is a changed man.
He has made more progress than us, and he is totally grateful to his mother. It's a total change of attitude. I'm truly very, very grateful to the Tzu Chi Foundation. I truly am. If it were not for you, I have no idea what my life would be like now.
After caring for the lonely and the sick in the city, volunteers next visit rural areas to check on seniors whose children are working away from home.
You have to take good care of your health. By you staying well, your son won't have to worry as much.
The volunteers' loving care is unforgettable, and many recipients still treasure the items received in the past.
Does the blanket still keep you warm? We gave it to you 2 years ago, right? This year, there will also be another distribution. Please come again for a new blanket, all right?
Volunteers remind all they visit not to forget this year's winter relief distribution, which will be a great opportunity for them to meet volunteers that they haven't seen for a while and catch up.
Singer and superstar Taiwanese-born Xiao Jingteng shines both on and off its stage. During his teenage years, Xiao was a rebellious kid who was in danger of throwing his life away. Yet thanks to some very patient and loving school counselors, he found his life's love and meaning in music. Now, when not recording or touring, Xiao did his best to give back to his community, actively involving himself in helping disadvantaged adolescents reach their educational goals. For his work both on the stage and in his community, Xiao was chosen as a recipient for this year's 10 Outstanding Young Persons Award. Let's learn more. In front of a packed house of adoring fans, Xiao Jingteng kicks off the night with one of his most iconic hits. Rock and roll is Xiao's life, yet no concert would be complete without the song that launched his musical career.
Regardless of how big the concert is, despite not being able to see the people in the back, for those in front, I will pick one or two to stand up and sing if I manage to hear their voice in the audience.
这个是专家，这首歌你必须要对我蛮熟悉，你才会点这首歌。
At 17, Xiao started his career singing in restaurants, later finding fame after a 2007 televised singing competition. Now, 7 years later, despite the glamour of the showbiz industry, music remains his priority.
像这样，我会觉得现在的人。
I feel these people focus on lyrics and often forget the accompanying music. I hope to create a more balanced relationship between the two.
However, Xiao wasn't always this disciplined and emotive. In his early teenage years, his behavior was a major worry for his parents and teachers.
就是因为我自己是
I was given the counseling that I needed as a kid, and for that I'm very thankful. In my life, I have more mentors than I can count, and that makes me a very lucky person.
但我觉得我的贵人现在用手指头数，大概都数不完。我是非常幸运的一个人。
During counseling, Xiao discovered jazz drumming. This introduction to the world of music would go on to change his life forever. Empowered in his music, Xiao looked to help others find it as well.
At that time, I was a bad kid, but had also been awarded for my volunteering. I don't know how much good I have done, but I do know that there are always people coming up to say I have made a difference.
And for his fans, Xiao is no longer just a stage idol. Offstage, Xiao uses his star power to assist numerous charitable causes and is actively involved in the education of adolescents, helping them turn their dreams into reality.
As long as you have the heart to do so, it doesn't matter whether you have the money or not. You can change the world.
Now, 28 Xiao has become the top Mendo pop singers in the world. However, regardless of how high he climbs, Xiao has not forgotten his humble roots, were the people that helped him through his early trials. It is precisely this heart of humbleness and gratitude that made Xiao a sure pick for this year's award. In a weekly series on young vegetarians, today we meet 4th grader Zhang Yizhen, who started to embrace a vegetarian diet after joining the musical adaptation of the Water Repentance Sutra. Yizhen's mother says going meatless has helped her daughter get rid of her bad temper and inspired her to become better behaved. Here's more.
What makes you happy when you volunteer here?
To be able to volunteer with other young volunteers, I met a young volunteer and her nickname is Xiao Tangyuan. My mother told me that Xiao Tangyuan treats me as her own sister. Whenever she throws a temper tantrum, her mother will scold her. I would take a walk with her when she cries. When we volunteer together, she'll ask me to help her when she can't reach something. I always help her willingly. This place makes me feel that we are a part of a big family. Volunteering at the Jingsi Books and Cafe helps me get rid of my bad temper. I realized that I was very mean to my mother in the past. I used to get very mad and talk back when she didn't let me buy the things I want.
Do you like to go to school or volunteer at the Jingsi Books and Cafe more?
I'd like to come to the Jingsi Books and Cafe more because it was established by the master. We need to incorporate the wisdom we have learned into our daily lives and treat this place as if it is our own home.
When my daughter joined the musical adaptation of the Water Repentance Sutra, a volunteer at the Jingsi Books and Cafe asked me if Yizhen could go meatless for 108 days. I told her, of course, it is not a big problem. Since then, my daughter started to embrace a meat-free diet.
Once when I was shopping with my mother, I saw someone butchering a chicken. I was so sad because the person put in so much strength when chopping it. I then told myself that I would never consume meat again.
It is great that my daughter stopped consuming meat because I no longer have to cook meat dishes. The smell of cooking meat makes me want to avoid eating it. Before, she didn't take the initiative to help and always put up a fuss when I ask her to do something. Now she will tell me what she wants to cook, and I'll purchase the ingredients for her. I'm always there to assist and teach when she cooks for us. After a while, my daughter told me that going meatless has improved her health. I believe as long as you consume enough nutrients, your body and skin will change for the better.
Animals are just like us, so we should not harm them. They are living beings and have parents too. Tzu Chi's new Xiu scholarships have helped many underprivileged yet deserving students turn their lives around. Today we meet 2 new Xiu scholarship winners of Taiwan, Jiang Mingxiang and Xu Xudong, who despite the setback they have suffered, have learned how to rise above them to pursue their education and their dreams.
他在家的话会帮爸爸磕炭。
5th grader Xu Xudong spends his holidays caring for his father who has Lou Gehrig's disease. When he has time, he also does the dishes and the laundry.
我出门去，他就会自己很主动。
When I go out, he stays home to care for his father. When his father goes to the hospital for checkups, he asks his aunt to take him there so he can help out.
Tzu Chi volunteers have been working with this family for years. Xudong, who won the New Shoot Scholarship Award this year, brought his father to the award ceremony.
I appreciate the Tzu Chi uncles and aunts who visit and encourage me. They also chat with me to cheer me up.
I appreciate his help. He has been with us all alone. We have the courage to go on because of him.
Although Xudong's father cannot speak, tears well up in his eyes in gratitude. In spite of their difficulties, this family is now one of heart and mind as they face the trials ahead. Another scholarship winner, Jiang Mingxiang, brings his siblings to check on the oranges in the orchard when he's home. Harvests have declined since his father passed away. Mingxiang also helps his grandparents by cleaning up the house and doing laundry. When Mingxiang was in high school, his father's alcohol abuse led to his parents' divorce. After his father died of acute liver disease, Mingxiang had to work part-time to help pay for his and his siblings' tuition.
It was really tiring the first time I did it. In a day, I had to move hundreds of boxes, each weighing 40 kilograms. My waist was very sore by the end of the day.
Fortunately, Tzu Chi volunteers reach out to this family in time, earning Mingxiang's deep gratitude.
We have to help those who are underprivileged so they can change the course of their lives. You gave us warmth and care. We're very happy with that.
This family no longer worries about paying for tuition, and the children have learned to reciprocate the love of their grandparents. Now, with Tzu Chi's love, Mingxiang and his siblings are enjoying a brighter future.
Tzu Chi volunteers in Taoyuan, Taiwan have been visiting the residents of Taoyuan Sheng'ai Education and Nursing Institute regularly, bringing them cheer and comfort. This time the volunteers brought members of the Tzu Chi youth basketball team so that the youngsters could learn to better dedicate themselves for the sake of others. Let's take a look.
To welcome the Tzu Chi volunteers, the children of Sheng'ai Education and Nursing Institute put on their best performance. Although their movements were not well coordinated, their joy at performing was evident.
Most of our residents are disabled, so they don't usually go out. Thank you for coming here to cheer them up over the past few years.
After the performances, the volunteers, including polio sufferer Xiao Jingteng, fed the residents.
I sometimes vented at my parents when I was young. After today, I think I will be better to my mother. He reminds me of my family, so I treat him like family.
Another young volunteer, 4-year-old Li Cheng'en, hand-fed a senior.
I comforted the grandpa. We bring him along to the gathering and let him watch us. Then he will slowly start to follow by example.
Although the visit did not last long, the volunteers successfully brought a ton of joy and laughter to this home, with residents all looking forward to the next visit.
We go to Yokohama, Japan at the end of the show, where local Tzu Chi volunteers were invited to take part in the charity sale held in front of the Kanagawa Prefectural Government Building. Besides selling delicious vegetarian cuisine, Tzu Chi volunteers also took the opportunity to encourage members of the public to adopt a meat-free lifestyle. We'll leave you with these images. Thank you for watching DaAi Headlines. Goodbye.